As we move along, gospel singer Solomon Molokoane, popularly known as Solly Moholo, will be laid to rest on Saturday in Tshwane. The 65-year-old died last week in hospital. His family has announced a memorial service to be held at the State Theatre. Newzroom Afrika's Ziniko and Mhlaba spoke to the musician's sons earlier.
I am now joined by the family representative who is actually the son of the late Solly Moholo, just to give us more details in terms of how the past few weeks have been for the family. Mr. Molokoane, condolences to you and your family, my brother, and thank you very much for granting us this opportunity to talk to you. Talk to us about how is the family doing since the announcement of the death of the late gospel singer, who was well known in South Africa, but personally as a family, how are you guys coping?
Thank you, sir. Like I said before earlier, it's been rough. It's been a rough few weeks. Over a month, our father's been in hospital, so it's very unfortunate, and it breaks the heart after watching him fight for quite a long time and unfortunately succumbing to his illness. So it's been a very rough few weeks for the family.
You mentioned the fact that, it's been hard for the family watching him, fighting for his life, but eventually, succumbing to his death. Talk to us about the gap that he's leaving behind in the family structure and the role and the space he's leaving open right now.
Yes, he's leaving 3 children behind, a wife, obviously, and 2 grandchildren. So the gap he's leaving is quite substantial. Losing a man who was my rock in terms of seeking aid, in terms of organizing my own personal life. Is the person I went to for advice. So it's quite difficult. So it's leaving a very huge void in the family home.
I mean, we know him as a gospel legend who's very charismatic on stage, but how was he at home? The Solly we never knew, obviously as his fans, as his supporters, South Africans, but at home, how do you describe him, especially to you guys as his children and, of course, his wife?
Okay, well, Dad was a comedian. So he always brought a positive energy towards the room. So I'm pretty sure most people who know him, they know that he always wanted everyone to be happy. So he never wanted any squabbles anywhere around. So every little squabble. So he crushed that quite quickly.
I mean, he was about to launch an album. As a family, how is that process going to unfold from your side? You know that his business team is going to run with that, but as a family, how important is that launch for the family?
Yeah, it's quite important because my father regarded this upcoming album as his Mona Lisa. So, we are excited about it. At least we see a little bit of a silver lining throughout this entire ordeal. So, it's giving us hope that his memory will keep on, will live on.
That's Solomon Molokoane, who is the son of the late gospel legend Solly Moholo. We know that he will be laid to rest, but also Mr. Molokoane, they're just sharing some details in terms of the person he was. As we know him as a very charismatic, artist on stage who was very popular across Southern Africa in terms of his genre, which is a traditional gospel, especially in his home language here in South Africa. But he could resonate to thousands and millions of South Africans, not necessarily speaking his language, but through his art and ability to share his skills on stage, and of course spreading that gospel word across this SADC region.